donation to the Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub. Here's your host, Paul Tipton.
Well, hey there, Vero Nation. Thanks for joining us inside the Coach's Corner here as we get set for Week 4 of high school football. We'll talk about our upcoming opponent here in just a little bit, but Week 3 presented the challenge of Port St. Lucie, and I didn't bring my white flag with me, Coach, but I was going to wave the white flag. Is a nice win there, 62-0 over Port St. Lucie. Yeah, it was a little bit of a delay getting things started because of the lightning, but once things got cranking, man, you guys really turned on the offense and didn't look back.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing that I was very impressed with our players about. You mentioned the delay, and we were dealing with that throughout the week and just, interrupting practice or getting called off the field or delayed with the start or, and you try to use those experiences, to your advantage. And so our kids stayed focused during that. It was the game was only delayed by about 15 or 20 minutes. But the warm-ups were, it was all of that was interrupted, and we weren't allowed on the field for any of that, and all of your routine was completely, in disarray. And so anytime you're dealing with 17 or 18-year-old kids and their routine is interrupted, there's always some concern. If you're dealing with a 50-year-old guy and his routine is interrupted, then there's some concern there. Right. So anyway, I was, we were on, high alert on just, our kids staying focused and those kinds of things. And I think it's just a credit to the type of kids that I'm very lucky to be around. We've got some very good leadership and some maturity on our team that, they stayed their focus. And when that opening kickoff did finally get started, I was just impressed with, the way that we were able to take over the game. And you mentioned the offense, and we did. We scored on our 6 offensive possessions that we had. But, I continue to relay this to our team. We talk about it every week, is that it's a 3-phase game. And although we scored on all 6 offensive possessions, the first drive is set up with, great defense. They had a hard time getting going on their first drive and dealing with the weather and the wet ball and those situations how the game started. So they were going backwards, but then we get a great punt return and we get great field position. So there we played good defense, have a great play on a special team, and start the drive at the 10-yard line. So we end it with a touchdown, and that's what you're looking for there. But it's a 3-phase game, and I think our kids are seeing that. They're believing that, and it's just been fun to watch. It's our kids are playing at a high level right now, and continue to improve and work at it each and every day, not just each and every week.
Well, you've had back-to-back shutouts by the defense, and ironically enough, the last shutout you had was in 2020 against Port St. Lucie. But the other thing is back-to-back shutouts. That's the first time that's happened since 2018. Defense is playing well.
Very well, and it's been, I just describe it, and I know this sounds like, that this is whatever coach talk or whatever people call it, but it's been team defense. Mm-hmm. And our kids are working very hard. They're playing very unselfish. I think you always have a chance when nobody cares who gets the credit, and when you're playing with that kind of mindset, kids are working, they're playing their responsibility, playing very good team defense, and playing with relentless effort. I think when I watch this film after, I just come away with being very pleased with the effort that each and every kid is given on each and every play.
Yeah, what I noticed is out of the 8 to 10 possessions that Port St. Lucie had, the result was either a punt or a turnover of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, it puts a smile on your face. And like I said, all of that's really, in the overall end result, all of that stuff is related. And when you're playing great defense and you talk about the field position game, you get them out of their game plan. You take them right out of their game plan, because as you're scoring, they start reeling and become one-dimensional. And thinking that they've got, there's not a 28-point play in your playbook, and
Right.
so as those things start to happen, things are going your way, and it's a lot of fun to be around.
Some of the things that we saw, some comments that were made through the course of that ball game was, why is Vero not playing harder teams? And Gary and I actually talked about this in our recent podcast about the fact that, well, when you're trying to make schedules in January and February, you don't know what kind of team you're really going to face come September. And so it does present a little bit of a challenge. You've talked about this before with us, but take us through the process of how you come up with a schedule and what it's like, because I know it's no easy task.
No, and like we were talking about, I think before the season, I think, on this schedule, there's 8 or 9 teams that were in the playoffs last year,
Right.
and so you certainly don't know from year to year on who's going to be what and who's going to be where and all those kinds of things. And so you have a lot of it depends on your opponent and what they're talking about and,
Sure.
and what they're anticipating from their teams. It's a little bit of a crapshoot. Obviously each and every year we try to put the most competitive schedule on the field, and what's ironic is, Port St. Lucie came into the game undefeated, and Westwood comes into the game undefeated,
Right.
So each team that we've played, I think this year, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, has come in undefeated, and so. Yeah, the games have gotten lopsided, and I can, obviously you're going to, be open to criticism whatever way you look at it. But, we can only control what's in our control. But as far as making a schedule goes, yeah, you surely have to, count on whoever it is that you're trying to, get scheduled and vice versa. So, it's a process, and this is a year that the state recategorized and reclassified everything, so everybody was kind of reeling and trying to figure out how all that was going to go down, and at the end of the day, that's what we ended up with.
Well, a lot of people forget, Coach, that a couple years back, we went all the way to Virginia to play one of the best teams in the state of Virginia on our opening game.
Right.
I mean, you were looking for games to play, and that one was presented to you, possibly a TV game.
Right.
And then you also, the game that I think about, we traveled to Venice to play Venice, and they were supposed to travel back to Vero the next year, and we haven't seen them back over here yet, but we did go over there and play Venice. So, I mean, it's not like you're not afraid to go out and challenge and play teams.
No. I mean, you guys know you're close to the program. I mean, we're always looking to play the best possible opponent, and it just depends. Like you said, you have to have cooperation from other teams. The weeks have to match up. We thought we were going to have a steady series with Cocoa. That was a great game last year, and the weeks didn't match up this year. I wanted to keep it at week 1, and they had something already in week 1 because of the way that their schedule finished up, and so we weren't able to find a coordinating week, and so a lot of that comes into play. But I was, like I said, going into this season, there were, look, we're only a couple games into it, but there were some real challenges on this schedule when I looked at it, because a lot of it was based on schools reaching out to us, and of course I think each year, I think there's some hope from our opponents that, we're going to be down a little bit, and we had graduated. I think we returned 2 starters on offense and 4 starters on defense this year. So I think, that wasn't a secret. Our opponents realized that and recognized that, and, we're looking to maybe get us on the schedule.
Let me ask you this question, Coach. Offense. Is there any surprises so far this year? I mean, you knew you had a good quarterback coming in, and Tyler Aronson, but are there any other surprises that have come right out? I mean, you had Von Dravius, you knew that, but what are the things this offense has been explosive at times, and what has there been a surprise to you in the early part of this year?
Yeah, like individual surprises, I don't know that I can, just say that there's just, somebody that's, but you guys are around our program and you go to practice, and we set the bar pretty high, you know, for all three phases, but me in particular on the offensive side of the ball. And, you know, that standard is set. I mean, I think this year, whatever, we scored 34 points, and people were wondering, you know, what was wrong with the offense or something, you know, and so, you know, that's setting the bar pretty high, you know, and so I'm just pleased. It's fun to go to practice every day. We've got a really good group. I think when you think of the different segments of the offense, the offensive line is working really well together. There's steady improvement being made there. We continue to establish depth. So there's depth at running back. You know, it's great to continue to get Quincy Rogers healthy and his leadership. We've got, you know, other good backs that have stepped up, Jaquan Jean and Jonathan Hillsman. And then we've got depth at receiver, like real depth, that guys that can step in, have made plays when they've gotten opportunities. We were talking about just this week in offense and scoring the 62 points, you know. We only ran 32 offensive plays. So you would look at that and you say, okay, 62 points. Yeah. You must, and that may not, you know, register with a lot of people, but that's less than half of what we usually run in a regular game. But that clock gets running. So our goal is to have about 65 offensive plays a game. Well, we ran 32. We had 311 yards and scored 8 touchdowns, you know, 8 offensive touchdowns. But, and I was telling our players, you know, so we completed 13 of 14 passes, and there were 6 different receivers that caught passes. There were 4 different kids that took snaps at quarterback. There were 6 different kids that rushed the ball. So, and still there's this thought that, well, you know, did the ball get spread around, or did you run the score? You know, things like that you hate to have. Yeah. And so you can do the best you can. At the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know, we're doing our best, and we've got great kids that work really hard, and they deserve to play, and that's kind of what we've got going.
Well, it was a 62-0 win against Port St. Lucie last week. 2 of those players that helped get us that win are here with us tonight. We're going to step aside. We'll have them right back here at the Coach's Corner right after this.
The Tripp family, GNC, and the Miracle Mile are crazy about the Vero Beach Fighting Indians and their fans. Joe and his staff have over 2 decades in the supplement business and know all about sports nutrition, along with vitamins, herbs, weight loss, and wellness products. GNC also offers meal replacements and testosterone support and tailors their products to your individual needs. 562-2450.
The Fighting Indians rely on teamwork, and so does Christian FM. One of those teammates is Scott Sporting Goods. Scott Sporting Goods features an array of sporting equipment, including clothes and shoes. They are also the ones that fit our Fighting Indians broadcast team with the Fighting Indians apparel. Located in downtown Vero Beach, 1407 20th Street. Their phone number is 778-0661. Thanks to Scott Sporting Goods.
The Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub.
And welcome back inside the Coach's Corner. Here I'm Paul Tipton along with Coach Jankowski, and we have our Scott Sporting Goods players of the game from last week. Tyler Aronson on offense, Matthew Bacon on defense. Tyler, first of all, it's good to have you here on the program. And last week against Port St. Lucie, 6 of 7, 144 yards, 4 touchdowns. Man, what happened to you, man? Was it down or what? I mean, you know, come on. You couldn't get 6 touchdowns out of that?
Definitely started with my teammates. The defense got some really big stops, and we were really good on special teams as well, giving the offense really good field position and putting us, the offense, in positions to be successful. So it all starts with them. So.
It does. Talk about with you on offense. I mean, you came in here in the summer. You've had to take a crash course in learning this offense and getting to know Coach Jay, and he's getting to know you a little bit. Talk about how that's been going and how you guys. You talked a little bit about this last Friday when we were talking to you after the game about how you guys have been building a bond and how the chemistry is starting to translate to things on the field.
Yes, sir. We've been building a bond. I feel like on and off the field. Every day I feel like I'm learning and developing as a player. And yeah, like I said on Friday, he doesn't just call like the stuff he wants. He talks to me about it and sees what I'm comfortable with, and I feel like everything runs smoothly. And I'm super excited for the rest of the season.
It doesn't hurt to have some nice weapons out there to throw to as well, right? I mean, when you got a guy like Von Dravius and you got Woolard and you got Troy Smith and these guys out there, that helps, right?
100%. I'm super grateful to have them. They worked really hard this offseason, and we're building chemistry day to day, and it's super exciting being able to have those weapons every week. So
I was really impressed. Last week I was out there at practice. I think it was the Wednesday practice, and after you guys got finished, the team left. You and I think it was Woolard. You spent probably about another 30 minutes or so letting him run routes and you throwing the ball to him. You just continue to work on that, that chemistry and timing, and that helps, because when it gets under the Friday night lights, then you guys are ready to go.
100%. I feel like I'm going to do everything I can to put myself in a position to be successful, no matter what that means. And I think putting in a lot of hours in the dark with my guys helps us shine the light. So, yeah, I'm definitely building chemistry from week to week. But, yeah, I'm willing to do whatever it takes and put myself in that position.
I love it. Well, 2 straight shutouts, Matthew, and I tell you what, it's been impressive to watch. I don't know, in all my years of broadcasting, when we get to halftime and we start talking about the stats and the other team is in the negative 24 yards in that first half of play, that's pretty impressive, dude.
Yes, sir. I feel like we did a really good job of coming out with the delay and still doing our job, different shutouts.
So it's been a little while since we've had back-to-back. Guess what? In Coach Jay's era, there's never been 3 consecutive games of shutouts. There's a little bit of challenge there. You think you guys can do it?
Yes, I think we can do a really good job of keeping Westwood to 0. It's they're coming in undefeated, but so did PSL, so it's nothing really new.
We're talking with Tyler about the chemistry. Defense has really got some chemistry. I mean, I'm watching 11 guys flying to the ball. Talk about what it's like in practice so people can kind of get a glimpse.
Well, I feel like we're not even just a team, just more of a family, and everybody's together, and that's really it. It's like not really much arguing, and Kez leads the defense really well, and so does Keyshawn, and it's a bunch of different leaders on that team.
Yeah, there are some great leaders on that defensive side. You last year hurt your knee. You went through a rehab process. You're back. How's the knee feel?
Feels better than it did before. It's thank you to AJ. It's been a good journey, and just got cleared last month, and been doing good since.
It was a tough journey, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Long 10 months, long 11 months. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know you were back in the springtime. You were itching to get back out on that field, but they said, no, we got to wait a few more months.
Yes, sir. The brace is feeling regular now.
Awesome. That's good, man. Well, we appreciate what you guys are both doing for the program. Helped us improve to 3-0. Let's see if we can do 4-0 next week. Deal?
Yes, sir.
All right. That is Matthew Bacon, our defensive player of the game, and Tyler Aronson, our offensive player of the game, presented by Scott Sporting Goods. We'll step aside. We'll come back and talk with Coach Jankowski right after this.
Caps Pizza and Pub, a proud sponsor of the Fighting Indians and Christian FM, serving Vero for over 35 years. Caps offers Italian cuisine, including pizza, strombolis, calzones, hot and cold subs, plus wings. A family-owned and operated business, John and his staff are happy to serve. Caps Pizza and Pub, 725 27th Avenue Southwest, Vero Beach, 772-770-2277, or capspizzamenu.com.
Hi, JW from Barker Air Conditioning. These hot and humid days sure do take a toll on your air conditioning system. Barker Air Conditioning offers our ESA annual or semi-annual maintenance plans to keep things in good working order. Barker Air Conditioning, servicing Indian River County since 1959.
The Tripp family, GNC, and the Miracle Mile are crazy about the Vero Beach Fighting Indians and their fans. Joe and his staff have over 2 decades in the supplement business and know all about sports nutrition, along with vitamins, herbs, weight loss, and wellness products. GNC also offers meal replacements and testosterone support and tailors their products to meet individual needs. 562-2450.
The Fighting Indians rely on teamwork, and so does Christian FM. One of those teammates is Scott Sporting Goods. Scott Sporting Goods features an array of sporting equipment, including clothes and shoes. They are also the ones that fit our Fighting Indians broadcast team with the Fighting Indians apparel. Located in downtown Vero Beach, 1407 20th Street. Their phone number is 778-0661. Thanks to Scott Sporting Goods.
The Coach's Corner, presented by Cap's Pizza and Pub.
And we're back at the Coach's Corner. Along with Gary Paris, I'm Paul Tipton and Coach Jankowski here tonight. As we get set for week 4, Coach, you got Westwood coming to the stadium. They're 2-0. We just talked about this. It seems like every team that's coming in, they're undefeated. I saw some quick film just a while ago. Using like a core system. What do you see on film?
That's good. I mean, they've got a younger kid that I think is a freshman or sophomore, and with a little experience as far as football experience goes. I think the one thing that jumps out for any Westwood football team is always athleticism. There's